Okay. Boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Swaggy Vet Podcast. I'm your host, Big Pen. I got my co-host with me, First Swaggy Vet. What's up, baby?
What's going on, Big Pen? What's going on to all the Swaggy Vets and all their friends and family? What's going on out there?
Yes, sir. Hey, everybody. We're getting so much love with people purchasing the merch. And I'm sitting here sipping on this tumbler, you know. And you know what? The manufacturer who did this is really good because I don't have some ice in here all day. And it's still working for me. And I see you
I say.
Yes, sir. And I see you iron the shirt. Swaggy Vet. Hey, but you're too late. You're too late. Mine sold out. You should have went to swaggyvets.com and bought your shirt. It's too late because the shirt sold out, everybody. But my boy got on I Survived the VA. We got some of those left. So make sure you hurry because they're going quick. And I know you see the hat. Woo! Hey, I'm fresher than a mug. Oh, with this hat on. I don't go nowhere without it. Hey, but let's get into the brass tacks. We got a special guest. We got a special guest coming. Hey, and I'm a little biased because this is my boy. He done been my boy for a long time. And we want to make sure we bring him on here and highlight because he's done a lot of good stuff. And y'all need to hear about it. All right. So, hey, coming to the stage is our boy, Duryea Williams. Watch out, everybody. Watch out.
What's going on, Swaggy Vets? What's up, everybody? Man, I've been wanting to be on here for a minute.
All right, man. And now, hey, you hear the time has come. So, man, we appreciate you coming on, man. You know, you're a very busy man. So you made out some time for your boys to come on. And hey, share your story, man. And that's what it's about. But it's been a while. So go ahead and tell us, man, what inspired you to join the Army? And man, you came in when I did in 2001. So what kind of inspired you to go ahead and make that leap going into the military?
So for me, I think it was about trying to just get a steady paycheck. Because coming from Cleveland, it was jobs were limitless. Well, it was limited jobs from where I came from. And I had a son. I couldn't really do much for him at that time. The old lady, she was working. So I was like a stay-at-home dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it didn't feel right. So I said I had to do something.
My man said I got to get my itch together.
I was like, I can't be at home cooking and cleaning and doing all that stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but I just had to make a change. I feel like I had to provide for my family a little bit better than what I was doing. So I was like, all right, my brother went to the Army. I said, let me try my hand at the Army. Okay. And that's basically what it was. It was just to get a paycheck. But as time went on in the Army, things changed. I think I developed that sense of pride as time went on.
Absolutely. That's what happened with me because my whole family, my dad was in the military. He started off in the 82nd as well. And, of course, my Uncle John and my dad's brother was the Air Force. He was a pararescuer. So my whole family pretty much came from military. So I felt like that was just a path that I needed to take. So it worked out.
I didn't really see myself going into the military after high school. I thought I was going to do good as an auto mechanic there in Cleveland. But
okay.
There was other plans for me in life.
And what did you I know you had a couple jobs and we're going to talk about that. What was your first job?
So my first job, I worked at a place called Caribbean Sea. It was a seafood joint, probably about an hour away from the house.
This is before you. This is after high school.
Right after this was during high school.
Okay.
So I would catch the bus about an hour to get to work. Almost like 2 buses out. Yeah, it took a little minute to get to work. So I worked there for a little minute. In between high school, I think that was in like 10th, 11th grade. I was working like that, and then after that, it was just a lot of fast food jobs.
Yeah. Then you went to the military. You was an admin guy, right?
Yeah. So when I first told my mom I was going to enlist in the army, she was like, you ain't doing that. Hey, look, a war breakout. I ain't about to lose my baby.
Yeah, I can feel that.
So she convinced me to go. I think it was 71 Lima, 42 Alpha, or 71 Lima at the time. That's what she convinced me to do. Cause I told her I was gonna go infantry, but she said, "Nah, pick a safe job, a desk job." So I said, "All right, ma, I'll do 71 Lima. I just got to do something."
Now, how'd you like that?
It was all right. I was never good at paperwork and typing anyway, so I was like, "Nah, I need to be outside. I like doing more stuff with my hands. I like to do a little bit more physical activities and stuff."
Okay. So boom, you was working with the seafood joint, and you looked at and you did what I did. I had like this divine intervention with myself because I didn't have any direction in my life. So I was like, what am I going to do with my life? You know, I got my butt on my shoulders. You know, I need to do better. And it's funny you say the way, because I wanted to go infantry, but my uncle, who did 36 years in the Air Force, he said, whatever you do, don't go infantry.
Everybody say stay away from infantry.
And so when I was at MEPS talking to the lady about a job, she's like, we got this bonus, infantry, 20,000. I said, ooh, this sounds enticing. But all I could hear is my uncle, don't go infantry. And so I picked something else. All right, so you go through admin, right? You get to your first duty station. Where was your first duty station?
So my first duty station was Fort Bragg, 1st COSCOM.
Center of the universe.
Yeah, I was on the, what they say, the other side of the street,
Yeah,
other side of Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
But for me, as a young guy, getting there on my own, it was all new to me. I looked at this like, all right, I gotta make this work, because I had family depending on me all that time.
Absolutely, man. When you feel like, hey, it's make or break. It's gotta work. So boom, you go admin, you get to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, center of the universe, and you say, you know what? This just ain't working. And then what happened?
So with that, my first deployment to Iraq,
Okay.
I was an admin, and I noticed everybody was going outside the wire, man. It was something about when I walked by that gate and I seen everybody gearing up to go. It's like a part of me wanted to do the same thing.
Okay.
I think I wasn't that good at doing awards and everything like that, but I gave it 110. So I like, you know what? As soon as my time for me to re-enlist, I'm gonna do something different. So like they threw that bonus at me. I said, shoot, I'll take that.
Hey, and this was in what, 2005?
Yeah, about around 2000, between 2004 and 2005.
So we was hot and heavy with the global war on terrorism. We had Afghanistan going on, and we had Iraq going on. So they're like, hey, we got this bonus for you. Come on over to the dark side infantry.
Yeah, and I, what made it better is I had 3 other homeboys that went infantry with me.
Okay, so y'all kind of reclassed together.
Yeah, I think y'all remember Lopez and Reyes.
Okay, yeah,
we all did it at the same time. So that's what really sweetened the deal for me, because I was like, well, shoot, I'm gonna have my fellas with me. We all come from the same background, which is something y'all been talking about. So now it's time to do it.
So at that time, you were an E5 reclassing, huh?
I was an E4 promotable.
Okay, promotable, and then you just jump into infantry. Man, that's a big leap, brother. But you had your battle buddies with you, so that's good.
It definitely was, because I missed a lot of as a Joe, being a private in the infantry, I missed a lot of that. So I had a lot of catching up to do once I got to the infantry.
Hey, so Will, Can you describe your journey from a team leader to platoon sergeant as you went to the 82nd Infantry?
So that right there, it was that journey. It was fun. It was painful. It was rewarding.
It was challenging.
It was it was an emotional roller coaster the whole time. Some days I liked it, some days I didn't. But starting off as that E5, and I went through that learning how to take care of soldiers. I learned how to be tough on soldiers, and applying the right amount of pressure in certain areas to make them shine. And then once I became a squad leader, then that more responsibility got put on me. And then that's when I had to learn, all right, now I got more soldiers to take care of. That's more families to take care of. So the responsibility really started growing, and it started really settling in that you got more work to do. You can't just come to work, check in, check out. A lot of that work I had to do was after hours. When you know how it was. You used to get those phone calls in the middle of the night. Hey, so and so just did this. You need to come by his house. You need to go pick him up from jail. You need to go do something.
Mm-hmm.
So as time going, I started getting more and more responsibility, and I started maturing. And as I started to mature, I realized I couldn't joke and laugh as much as I used to. And I remember a guy told me, he said, leaders eat alone. Because I had to make those hard decisions. And when I started making those hard decisions, I started realizing that, hey, ain't nobody really want to be around me no more. I started hearing people talk about me behind my back as I was passing. They ain't like the decisions I was making, but I was making the best decisions I could for the platoon and for the company at that time. And I say my little words, and then I go sit off somewhere because I didn't want to mess up they little groove or whatever they was doing.
Well, I was always taught leadership isn't a popularity contest. You got to do what's best for the unit.
Definitely.
And you got to put your personal aside. So I definitely feel that, brother.
That's another thing I had to learn. I really had to learn to put my personal feelings aside. Because even though they said something I didn't like or didn't agree with, I still had to take care of them. I still had to do right by them. They deserve that regardless. But that road, like I was saying, man, it was tough. It in between that and having a family and it limited my time with my family because those late days. Because you remember how, hey, you got to have this counseling done by this day. You got to have this NCOER done by this time. And you really don't get no work done till everybody gone.
You don't. Absolutely. Especially as a leader. You got to, what they say, you got to burn that midnight oil?
Man, I burned so much midnight oil, man. I feel like I couldn't replenish it fast enough.
So do you feel once you went, into the infantry role, because I know that's like a complete 180 from the admin world to infantry world. And I know you had to adapt and overcome a lot of stuff, yeah?
Yeah. It was even being around a lot of alpha males, that's what really changed the most. Because the way we talk as an admin to each other, everything was a little bit more relaxed than you walk into a room full of alpha males. That whole conversation changed.
Oh, absolutely.
We ain't holding our tongues. We going straight at it.
Yep.
So,
well, let's talk about these. I know you got some more deployments. You did multiple tours. You went to Iraq, you went to Afghanistan. How did the roles differ with deployments, and what are some of the keys some of the key lessons you learned? Because I know you had a deployment in one MOS then you had deployments in another MOS. So kind of break down how those differed. I know you kind of touched on it before about going outside the wire, but kind of break down to us how, you overcome that and how, what are some key lessons you learned from each.
So with these deployments, it went from being led to being a leader to supervising. So my first one, I was a soldier, so I was taking all commands from the tower. Whatever my NCOIC, whatever they said, hey, that's what I did. I had some good mentors along the way too. And then it came down to my second deployment and my third deployment, which was Iraq and Afghanistan, when I was really put in those leadership positions where I really had to test, where I was really tested. And I think I remember one day, John, you remember that time I came in the tent? I was hot. I was mad, man. I was like, hey, look, man, and if I see that dude, hey, I'm about to let him have it. I kept talking about it, and John said, look, man, only two things you can do. You can either let it go or go tell that man that he offended you. And I said, okay. I thought on that for a minute. And so I said, all right, I'm just going to go talk to that man and tell him that he offended me, man. So that was some of the best advice that John had gave me when we deployed. And I took that to heart. So I used that to lead my soldiers. So if anytime I had something to say to my soldiers or my soldiers had something to say to me, I make sure, hey, y'all come talk to me. Or I'm going to go talk to them. And towards my last deployment to Afghanistan, that's when I started working with contractors. So it wasn't no more soldiers. This was all contractors I was dealing with. So it was a whole different animal. So managing these people, it was different because I couldn't just tell them to go do this. They would say, hey, by my contract, I can't do this. Or I'm a contractor, I can't go there. I can't do this. So now either I had to go do it or I had to try to figure out a way to get them there. So that it was when pieces of equipment went down and the unit called me and said, hey, I need a contractor out here right now. I had to go up there and tell that man, look, I need you to get out there and get that piece of equipment back up. And he'd look at me like, dude, I just got back. And at any time, they can just tell me, bruh, kiss my behind. I'm getting out of here. So
you had to build some cohesion with him, huh?
Hey, you know what? I definitely built a good relationship with a lot of them.
That's good.
It was some tough days, bro. I said, I know you just got back, but I need you to get on that plane.
We need you now.
But when I look back on those deployments, I noticed that, like I say, being led to being a leader to supervising, I came a long way.
That's what it's about, man. Growing as an individual, as a leader, and as a soldier. That's what it's about, man. And it helps you be successful. I didn't realize how my leadership skills in the military has helped me be successful as a veteran. So
it helps me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Managing stuff, we're good managers now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's like we can get a problem and we already got an idea how we gonna solve it. So we just taking in the details, but we already got a plan in place because this is something we've been doing for years. We already know this is how this is gonna get done anyway. But I'm gonna pull some more information in, and you can make that decision even better. It's just taking the facts and making decisions.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about you did your deployment as admin, and then your first deployment to Iraq in 2006 to 2007 as a team leader. How was, you're going from admin, you just went to infantry school, and you deployed. So how did that go? Well, you got any impactful stories from that time?
So from that time, I didn't realize how much that deployment impacted me until afterwards.
Okay.
it felt like everything went so fast. The relationships and everything you built with people, because it was the smallest things that you didn't realize that we started doing for each other. It came from, hey, if I just got off mission and I know I'm tired, I had a brother that would bring me lunch or bring me dinner, and I would do the same for him. So I really learn how to invest in people around me,
Okay.
because it felt like we really, it was weird having people that didn't know me at first that really start caring about me, and then I started caring about them. And once I got back from deployment, I realized that we definitely developed a bond that I never seen coming. That always be there. Even if we don't talk for months and years or whatever, that bond is still there. It's like it just rejuvenates itself once we start having conversations with each other. So I could tell you, it's spending many days and nights and weeks on mission with certain people. The conversations that we had, I mean, you know, you start talking those personal conversations,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you really get to know somebody. You really start opening up. And you start letting people in your life, and they start letting me in their life. And when I got a chance to see where people were coming from, you know, and for them to trust me with that type of information, that's when I really knew that I was making an impact on somebody's life, and they knew they was making an impact on mine.
Yeah, that's some good insight, man. I totally agree with you, man. You definitely built some bonds overseas because you're with those individuals pretty much 24/7. You eat with them, you work out with them, you go on mission with them. You're there, so sometimes you ain't got no choice but to get close with them.
Yeah, it's weird that you wake up in the morning, first thing you think about, hey, let me go knock on his door, see if he up.
Yep.
Let me knock on the door, see if he ate yet.
Absolutely, man.
So Will, and so from 2014 to 2016, you transitioned to Fort Drum, and then you're serving as a weapons squad leader, and during this time also a platoon sergeant with the 10th Mountain, right? 10th Mountain Division. Now I've never been outside of. Say it again.
To the top. That's what
To
they
the
say.
top.
To the top.
Oh yeah, there you go, man. So I know. Tell us about the change of pace in that, because I only been 82nd, and tell us what were some changes and things that you had to go through with when you made that transition.
Two things. It was a change of pace and a change of weather.
Mm-hmm.
When I say change of weather, I'm from Cleveland. I knew I was gonna be good up there. I was wrong. But it was, I think my first month I spent in negative degree weather. That's the first time I seen icicles hanging from somebody's eyelashes. It was cold. And
Hey,
that's when
I heard. No, I don't mean to cut you off. I heard people from Alaska do cold weather training at Drum.
I believe it. I believe it.
That's crazy.
When you went to the field in Fort Drum, you took a pot-belly stove. People got frostbite out there.
Good Lord.
When you went to the range, you didn't, when it snowed, you didn't see nothing. When it snowed, you got a phone call, hey, we ain't gonna be able to come get y'all, so y'all stuck out there until the weather break. That could be 2-3 days.
Nice. You got a plan if you're gonna do a campsite, huh?
Yeah. But from 82nd, because it was, hey, we was jumping all the time, we was in the field all the time. It was always something going on. And with 10th Mountain, you take the Airborne out of it, excuse me, things kind of slowed down a little bit. And so it was back down kind of to like the basics. But once I got there, I was moving fast because I felt like I was still in the 82nd. I was just moving. It was like, hey man, slow down a little bit. But there were certain areas I did excel in. Like as a weapons squad leader, I learned a lot at Fort Bragg. I had some good platoon sergeants, good squad leaders. I had good soldiers that really helped me along the way. And so when I got to Fort Drum, I just kind of applied everything that I learned from all those people. And it made me look good. I had a sergeant major one time. He called a ceasefire. He said, ceasefire. He said, doggone it. If this ain't one of the best weapon squad leaders I ever seen, he said, hold on, stop. Everybody, stop. Call him on the radio,
that's what I'm talking
ceasefire.
about.
He say, hey, come on, I got to get a picture with these guys. And that's everything that I learned from the 82nd. So it was definitely a change of pace, but I didn't know it was gonna be like that when I got there. But it was definitely a good time. But it was cold. It was really cold. I can't even tell you how cold it was when we did sit-ups out there in the snow. We just kept packing down the snow.
You're like, man, my butt's numb.
You talking about weapons breaking, the boats breaking, cracking because it's so cold. I ain't never seen metal crack until I got there. But the transition was good because the 82nd really prepared me, and everybody there prepared me for what I was about to get into. And from the 82nd, I think one of the units I came to, everybody was leaving. Squad leader, platoon sergeant. They said, hey, man, you the platoon sergeant. I said, I ain't never been the platoon sergeant before. They said, all right, well, we leaving in like 2 weeks, so it's all on you. And same thing when I got to 10th Mountain. Hey, the platoon sergeant leaving. Hey, you about to be the platoon sergeant. So I just took everything and I just tried to run with it the best I could.
Man, that's what's up, man.
So when you had got to so after this you transitioned to Fort Belvoir?
Yeah.
Right, and this time you was it was called the Rapid Equipment Force.
Yeah. So what the Rapid Equipment Force did, we bought commercial items and military items for soldiers that had capability gaps. And I didn't know what it was when I first got into it. It is so crazy because I never worked with contractors or civilians before, and it put me in the ops. And I got there the first day. I'm sitting there, and this guy come in. He said, "All right, Duryea, this is what you're gonna be doing. You need to do this. You need to do this." This dude telling me what to do. In my head, outside, I'm like, "All right, got you." But in my head, I'm like, "Who is this dude? I'm not listening to him. He ain't got no uniform on. I don't know why he even talking to me, because as soon as he leave out, I'm going my way." So I went and found the first green suitor and said, "Man, who is that dude with the ponytail talking to me?" He said, "That's your boss." I said, "Man, I ain't got to listen to him. I do." He said, "Yeah, he's a 13. That's equivalent to this rank. And he's your raider. And the 14 next to him, that's your reviewer."
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, you better listen to him.
You had a civilian rating you?
Yeah.
Wow. My
unit that I was in, it was made up of about 85% civilians and contractors. And that was my first time working around contractors and civilians. So I learned a lot of do's and don'ts. And then it also helped my mentality to start transition to one day I'm going to be a civilian. And I'm seeing with the contracting is like when contracts end, you know, or they about to end, or they're for negotiation, and it look like it ain't going right. Hey, these guys, they find another jobs and they go.
Don't.
Or that contract end. I think I remember one day they came in, they told everybody, they say, for some of y'all that know y'all ain't doing too well, y'all know we making cuts, so we gonna give y'all a chance to find jobs.
Dang.
That was the most peaceful way I've seen anybody get fired. It basically say fire yourself, but we do it.
Fire yourself before we do it.
Yeah.
Because we going down the line shortly. You know who you are.
When your number come,
pull your own plug.
Yeah.
We're not telling you you're fired, but you might want to find another job.
We ain't telling you to go home. But you
But
got to
you're
get
free
up
to
out of
leave
here.
if you want to within the next 30 days.
You might want to get all that stuff off your desk.
Yep.
Get your food out the refrigerator.
Hey, but I seen the guy sit there one day. He was sitting at his desk. He was working. He got up. Said, I don't need this mess. Forget this. Took everything off and left.
Just left like that.
I said, they can do that? He said, yeah. I done seen people come in there. The guy come over his shoulder nice and easy, whisper in his ear. He said, hey, you get that little motion? You ain't got to do that. You ain't got. Hey, lead them in there. We'll power that down for you. Just come on with me. Man, they got some good firing techniques in the contracting world.
Oh my god, man! Y'all crazy.
We got these techniques because we don't want Billy to act up.
Ooh, Billy or Nikesha.
Yeah. Bro, that's crazy because just a little context. Me and Will was in the same battalion because we was in 1508 together. I was in the FSC in the transportation platoon, and he was in the infantry unit. And bro, I remember we used to go. Mm-hmm. We was on go mode.
Mm-hmm. As soon as your feet touched the floor in the morning, you was on go.
And I don't know what it was. Every JFEX that we had, Sergeant Pennington was the NCOIC of the parachute, gosh darn detail. I remember when I had to go get issued 1,500 parachutes. I said, man, and we have to, so we have 1,500 jumpers. So you have to draw 10% over just in case we have malfunctions during JMPI. So I'm sitting here, you know what I'm saying, with 1,650 shoots and 1,650 reserves. Man, we got like 4 trucks full of stuff. We issued them out. And I'm doing all my, because we were jumping Sicily. Sicily got 56 seconds of green light. 56 seconds. That's a big DZ. So I got 15 center line turn-ins for the shoot detail. Man, that was probably the biggest shoot detail I ever did was one of those JFX. But for some reason while I was there, they always tagged me to be the NCOIC shoot detail.
That's what you get for being reliable. And
I was. And you know what? The first sergeant saw things went smooth when I was in charge. He said, "Nah, we putting Sergeant Pennington on. He squared away." And I'm like, "What about these other guys? They got to get, they got to get some stick time too." Nah, we got Sergeant Pennington. But that's
they get it another day.
So that's crazy being 11 Bravo, bro. You go, our up tempo from 1508. Then you go to Fort Drum, where maybe it's not as much, but you're still doing a little bit. And it seems like you go to Fort Belvoir, and it's like, like what was the op tempo like there? What was it like being there?
It was a directorate. So okay. We didn't have a first sergeant. We didn't have squad leaders and none of that stuff. All you had was a sergeant major and a lead. So every morning, you had to be to work by 8:30 for stand up.
Okay.
We didn't do formations. That's when everybody in the whole building, we just huddle and they put out information.
Okay.
And so from that point, and they issued me a cell phone. I had a laptop, so if I need to telework and stuff like that, or some days it was the first time I could say, "Hey, I'm not feeling too well. I'm working from home today."
What?
Yeah.
You was a civilian in a uniform.
That's what it really felt like. And with this, as I transitioned out to an outsourced outreach team, and that's when we went and we looked out. We went and we looked at some of the latest technologies that can probably help the soldiers on the battlefield now. So they would tell me, "Hey, Will, we need you to go to Boston and get trained up on this piece of equipment." And so I would go to Boston, and we would go to the civilian manufacturer. They would train us up on it. We would go out there, and as infantry, we try to destroy everything they got. And then that way we can tell them, hey, look, this is not going to work for the guys that you're trying to issue this to. We need to add this. You need to add this to it.
Nice.
And for somebody for $1 million company to take my word and say, hey, you need to add a button here or add this, man, that was huge.
Yeah.
And for them to say, all right, we're going to do that. And they fixed it. And then they came back to us and say, all right, we got it. And then we'll buy it and we'll give it to the unit. And so I did that a lot for years, where they would send me places, I would get trained up on it, or I go look at the latest technology and say, hey, I think this might work for us, and had to bring it back. And then that full bird colonel and everybody else would say, okay, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, you were kind of like the rubber meets the road in that particular area then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So these companies probably spent millions of dollars based on what you told them to do.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's why we was at the unit as infantry, because of our tactical expertise.
Nice. I like it.
And when I went down range, we had a lab, and I had a machinist, I had a welder, and when these guys would come in, they would say, hey, we need a piece of equipment that can do this. And I could tell my welder, all right, this is why they need it. It's because this is the type of mission they have. This is the type of system that they have, and they need that weapon to traverse just like this or something.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to advise people like that on that type of level, man, I didn't even understand it at that time until kind of after I got out that role, and I started realizing that I was really out there making decisions that could like actually better the Army and to actually help units. And when we did this was like a one-man deployment. Hey, you going down here by yourself, or hey, we're gonna give you, $1 million worth of equipment. You need to get on this plane, take it out to that unit, issue it to them, and train them on it, and then come on back.
Train the trainer.
And for me to have to call the commanders in these units, say, hey, I'm coming out there. I need this, I need this, I need that, I need space. And for them to say, okay, we got you. We give it to you. You can do training here. You can go sleep in here. And to make those type of connections and things happening, man, I think it was truly a blessing to be able to do something like that, because not everybody got a chance to do that in their military career.
Heck
Work
no.
around a lot of civilians.
I've never heard of nothing like that. I'm just hearing this for the first time. I think that's pretty cool, man. I'd have been excited to do something like that.
It was dope because we actually made training videos. We flew a video team down from Fort Bragg, and we told them how we wanted the video to go, and to actually be executing all this stuff and the step by step and making CDs, and had to send them out to the unit and say, hey, we got the CD for you already made, and you can do this. This will tell you everything you need to know. It was fun.
That's what's up, man. That's awesome. And you made a definite impact on the Army as a whole, because I'm sure you probably, just with the knowledge that you gained, just with the advice that you give, probably saved some lives, man.
Man, I like to think that, man. I'm pretty sure you're right about that. It was definitely an experience that I wish, when I was there, I was like, man, I wish like my brothers can see me now. I wish they can be out here with me experiencing all this stuff. It was a good time.
Absolutely. So you get to Fort Belvoir, you do your thing, your time comes to an end. Then you head to what, the Wounded Warrior after that?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How was it working at Walter Reed, and how did that impact you, and how did you see it help the soldiers?
So with that, it was to be there with soldiers that were missing arms, legs, limbs. Some of them lost in combat. Some of them lost in just accidents out there on the road. And to some people had terminal illnesses.
Oh man.
And one thing I had learned that when somebody is has a terminal illness, and these guys, hey, he got about 10 months left, so we about to send him home to be comfortable. Let's go ahead and do his paperwork so he can receive his SGLI.
Mm-hmm.
He getting all his money while he alive, because he's about to pass away in the next 10 months.
Yeah, man.
And to actually try to help people like that, you doing everything you can. You calling everybody you can. You calling civilians, doctors. Hey, I got a guy that need to get there. You trying to make flight arrangements. You trying to do everything you can to make their life a little bit more comfortable. And to be around people that survived cancer, and the people to talk to somebody that actually missing a limb and say, hey man, sometimes it feel like it's still there, but it's not.
Yeah, I've heard that, man. What do they call it? Phantom limb syndrome or something like that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Imagine losing your arm. Man, my arm itch, but you ain't got no scratch. That would drive me crazy.
Yeah. But you know what though? Everybody was still in good spirit. I think I was on the elevator one day, and the elevator's about to close, and he stuck his leg out. The lady said, hey, you gonna lose your leg? He said, don't worry, I already lost the arm, and turned around and showed her we lost it. But they all stayed in good spirit. And to try to make all these accommodations for them, I even had people that had dementia and all type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to interact with their families and telling the families, hey, you got to come get him, or you got to come get her. And then you deal with people that were sexually assaulted. So it's definitely going to be different for them versus if they were sexually assaulted by a man or a female, or a male was sexually by a female. Things were very sensitive for them. So coming from the infantry, where I'm fussing and cussing every day around alpha males, I had to show more compassion for them.
Yeah.
And that took me to a whole different route, because I came in with that, hey, you a soldier. Hey, you a soldier. I don't care what you're saying. It's what the regulations say. That's what you're going to do. But then I realized, hey, the regulation ain't always right.
That's good insight, man.
I mean, it came a point, I say, man, I can't do height and weight on a guy that just finished chemo.
I know, man. That's crazy.
I'm like, what are y'all trying to, y'all really want me to flag this man? And he just got done with chemo, 10 months of chemo. The man survived,
Did you get a lot of pushback from the leadership when you was trying to explain that?
So you got pushback, but then sometimes they understood.
Okay, good.
Because we work with a lot of nurse case managers. We work with a lot of psychiatrists. We work with a little bit of everybody. So once again, I was working with civilians again, but my previous job kind of helped me prepare me for that. But it was definitely a very fulfilling job to know that I can actually help people transition out the Army.
Do you think that helped you as a person too? Because you went from infantry land, where, hey, if you don't do what I say, lives could be lost. You need to react to what I tell you. To doing this job, now you kind of have to do a 180, and you have to be more compassionate. Do you think that maybe helped you grow as a person?
It did. And the reason, and I say it helped me grow as a person, is because I noticed one thing: the Army, being in the infantry, it taught me to kind of be one way.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that ain't always in us to be that type of person. And to go to a place where now I can be a little bit more easygoing. I ain't got to yell. I can be more relaxed. It was definitely a change that I'm glad I was able to experience.
That's good, man. So let's kind of go back, because I had the I wouldn't say I had the privilege, but I went to airborne school straight out of AIT. You went to your first duty station, did that, re-enlisted, then you went to airborne school. How was that?
So the 82nd said basically go to airborne school or don't come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I didn't like heights anyway. But it's something I really wanted to do, and my mentality was, I'm not going anywhere to fail anything. You're gonna have to tell me either, look, bro, you broke your legs, your arms, your back, and you can't finish. But
Mm-hmm.
to actually go there and say, hey, I'm too scared to do this. But I think it does take a lot of courage to jump out of an aircraft, to get up in an aircraft and watch somebody open a door, and then you hook up and they tell you can go ahead and jump out. It take a lot to do that.
Boy, you ain't never lying. Let me tell you, my first jump, I was the doorman. When Sergeant and we jumped them C-130s, and when that door come up and that wind come rushing in, you rethink some things with your life. And I was, 18-year-old me, don't know my butt from a hole in the wall. I'm sitting there, hand over in the reserve parachute, and Sergeant Airborne raised that door. That wind come rushing in. I said, what am I doing? And then he looks back and starts yelling at me, whoa! Oh, man. I was like, do I really want to do this?
I wasn't as excited as he was.
No, I wasn't excited. No, but I will say this, though. It made me comfortable quick. You either get comfortable or you don't survive. Mm-hmm. So that first jump, after I jumped, though, I was like, man, that was cool. Once you get down to the ground all safe, looking up at the airplane going, over you good.
It was peaceful jumping out, especially airborne school, when you can jump at a certain height and you can relax for a little bit.
Yeah, because I think in airborne school we jump at 1,500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when we at Bragg, we jumped 1,000 feet, so we got that extra 500 feet.
1,000 feet, 700 feet. I can't. It all happens so fast.
Yeah, it does. Me, I'm a big guy. I jump out the airplane. I could be last out, but I'm first to hit the ground.
Hey, it's so funny. I remember my first jump with John. We was in the aircraft because he was already airborne before me. And we in the aircraft. I'm like, I'm just gonna see what he do. And we hooked up. They started shaking that anchor line cable.
Oh yeah, get excited,
baby. I seen him doing it. I said, what is he doing? I said, John, this ain't what you supposed to be doing.
Trying to get hyped up.
Hey man, I'm trying to grab it. I'm trying to maintain control of it. I'm trying to remember everything they taught me in airborne school.
So looking back over your career, what is the most significant moment that stand out? Because you did a lot.
The most significant moment. I
know it's probably hard to narrow it down.
I would tell you the most significant moment to me is when it's a few moments, but it's a moment. Is when soldiers come back to me and say, "Hey, I'd like to thank you for the advice you gave me."
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
I gave advice that helped them in their career and in their families, and that's what really made it worth it, man. And that's something you couldn't put in no award.
Nope, absolutely not.
And that's something I carry with me all the time. It's just I remember those faces to say, "Hey, I like to thank you, Sergeant Williams, for everything. If it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be with my wife today." So those are some of the most significant moments in my career that really stand out the most to me.
Mm-hmm. And think about it. I know you gave a lot of advice, but if you can give someone some advice that was considering joining the military, what would you give them?
I would tell most people the military ain't for everybody.
No, I'll tell you that.
And it's best to find out early in your career versus to do your whole career hating what you do. So if you come in, do your 5 years or 3 years or do whatever you do, but know that if you know this ain't for you, then that's okay. It is okay. You're not a failure. That's still an achievement. It's still an accomplishment. Don't just stay in because of your pride.
Hey, only 1% of America raised their hand to serve our country. So, you did your part just by coming in and doing a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
You're right about that, Will.
But just to know, it's for me. I didn't know I was starting a career when I first joined.
Me either. Yeah, you're absolutely right, bro.
And there's a lot of good. You reap a lot of good benefits from starting your career early. And it's a place where you choose what you want to do and how far you want to go. Remember that. So when you say, hey, they ain't gonna let me do this, or they keep stopping me, they can't do it. You believe in that, so that's why they stopping you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say this: what the Army has a unique ability in doing, when it comes that time to re-enlist, they dangle a lot of good things in front of you. And they did that to me every time. Hey, we got this money for you. I said, well, I could put some sixes on the truck.
Hey, you kept a clean truck.
Hey, I can put some sixes on the truck. There, let me go ahead and get that air assault. Let me get all of that. They have that unique ability in dangling the chest candy or the money up in your face.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get you where you want to go.
Yep. They'll get you anywhere you want. They'll put a couple of you be a granunaire for a while.
I always tried to get Florida. I'm like, man, I'm trying to go to Florida. What y'all got for me? We ain't got nothing in Florida. And then I was like, man.
You know what, man? I never really did have a place I wanted to go.
Really?
The only place I wanted to go was up. I felt like going everywhere else where everybody was talking about partying and drinking and, who had a curfew, who didn't have a curfew. I ain't want none of that, man. I wanted all the rank.
Man, you did that.
I know.
You did that, yeah.
I wanted all the schools, man.
Hey, I'll tell you, John had the good ability to make us be better. Because John was out there doing his thing, and he said, hey, y'all need to get y'all stuff together. I'm about to lap y'all. I said, ooh, yeah, I do need it. I was a swift kick in the behind.
I don't know why I was listening, man. I was with Duryea Williams in the infantry world. And it was very competitive. And it was good to see everybody, him, Cosby. But listen, Will was up there with the Marstoff guys.
Mm-hmm.
Doing their thing up there. What area? You remember the area, Will?
Was that Shawan Garrison?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He was down there. So Will was our QRF, and we got into some, we got into some scanning, and we was their QRF. We had to make it to them, but we had to been maybe 45 minutes away from each other. So, and we got into it. We was into it for a while. So I remember we had, we got into our little tick for tat, our little, a lot went off.
Little scuffle.
We make it to the main road. I'm literally been through some stuff, so I don't know how I look, but Will walk up, get out the vehicle, start laughing at me in my face.
Hey, cause you know what? I heard you on the radio. You was yelling, I'm pinned down. I'm pinned down. Hey, we couldn't get there fast enough. You came back on the radio. You was like, hey, y'all, I'm pinned down. For a minute. This wall is getting smaller. Whenever y'all decide to get here, I should be here.
Hey,
You was so relaxed.
Nothing. I couldn't do nothing. At this point, the bullet started piercing through the wall above me. Is how I'm like, listen, man. Hey, just when y'all find my body.
Hey, and that's after he done thrown like 5 grenades.
Hey, his teeth was black. He still had grenade rings on his fingers. I said I have to make it feel like they got a whole battalion on them. That's the only thing I do. That gets 3 men. I can hear him. I'm pinned down. I'm pinned down.
Oh my God, man! When I saw Will face and he just bust out laughing, I didn't even crack a smile.
I was so happy to see you.
Only Will would think this funny.
Hey man,
what would have been? I
was so happy to see you, bro.
Hey, it would have been real funny if John would have been like, if they still in there, they ain't happy.
No, they wouldn't. Hey, what like, make it so bad, Penn? We had to go back in there.
Ooh.
Hey, we did.
We had to go in, and they were still there. Remember they said RPG on the road.
Hey, John, he was dragging his weapon like, man, come on, really?
I was so tired at this point. I wouldn't even have it. I just was carrying it in one hand. All of a sudden, all I hear is RPG.
Hey, it'd be like that, man. When that adrenaline's rushing and it wear off, like, good Lord. Felt like
hey, they was like, I said, they didn't leave yet. They didn't go home. That dude said, we are home. He went our crib.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I think I gave John the biggest hug I gave anybody, man, when I seen him, man. Bruh.
Yeah. Man, that was crazy, man.
It was.
That's crazy. That's a crazy deployment. I remember even after the department, I had to go see the first sergeant.
What did he say?
Who's no longer with us. He said, you did a damn good job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, first sergeant.
He said, but the sergeant major wants y'all to practice on room clearing. I said, he wasn't even here. He's not even here. Make no sense whatsoever.
None.
That's crazy, man.
Hey, that's a crazy story to really tell. You know, to go from all the way across the other side of the world to here, and that we still here.
Still here. I'll tell somebody quick. I ain't supposed to be here.
Man.
That's a good day. Every time somebody says it's a great day, I say, man, it's a good day to be alive. I really do mean that. Because every day I had to wake up for a fight. You feel me? So I really do understand, man. That's a high stress. That was a high stressful job, man.
It was, bro. You remember we had to clear coverts all the time?
Man, we had to clear everything. What you mean? We were getting blown up.
Hey, it was almost 40-something coverts just to get back home. And had to get out every single time.
Mm-hmm.
It got to the point like, man, you know what? Just blow me up so I can prove a point. It's dumb to do this.
It got to the point that the stuff we was given, all our medical supplies, whatever we was giving them was being used for IEDs.
Yeah.
If you wrapped around and everything we gave them, they be like, who like, you didn't know who was friend or foe.
Man. Hey, because we stayed right there. We lived with them all the time.
That's right.
Afghan police, Afghan army.
We live right there with them. They don't. They be on the back of the truck smoking. We be like, no, you can't smoke that right now. We got to go patrol.
we got a mission to do.
At one point, I stopped even telling them to not smoke. They used to smoke before they went on patrol.
Man, hey, and you remember? I remember some mornings just eating fresh vegetables up out the ground. That was breakfast in the morning.
You mean the desert?
Hey, when we go into the city, hey, we sit there, hey, we in somebody crop, man, you pull a cucumber or a tomato up out the ground or a watermelon.
You got to eat that.
Karate chop them open.
Walk by, see them stepping on the bread you gonna eat later.
Hey, they coming up with bread up under their arm. Giving it to you, you breaking it off. You like, I'm so hungry, I'm eating this mustard bread.
You got to be a rapport with them. I got to eat this. Put a little cinnamon on that bread.
Hey, while you talking, that cinnamon bread with fire.
With some of that goat meat.
Every
With
time.
some of that goat meat.
That cinnamon bread went so hard. Oh my God.
All they needed was a pot and a fire, and they could cook something up.
I said, put an extra foot in
it. Bro, I used to send my interpreter to town. I said, hey man, we called him Jimmy. I was like, Jimmy, go get us some kebabs. And he go to the market, get us some kebabs, man. Boy, they made them kebabs so good. We had
rice. That food was good. I still eat that food over here now.
Mm-hmm.
I still look for those places. That Indian food. I still love that type of food, man.
I had never had lamb in my life until my interpreter went and got me some lamb. Boy, I eat lamb. I had a lamb kebab. I had a lamb gyro yesterday.
For real?
Yeah. I got a spot here when you come, bro. We go get one.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Hey, when I come there, I need some more of that Cardi B sauce.
Oh man. Hey, my wife, John, he came here. My wife made him some Cardi B. Hey, we had some of them chips. We ate the whole bag, bro.
I love staying at Pierre house, man. The whole family be waiting on me, man.
Yeah,
man, they showed me so much love at the end of that trip. It rained on me. It rained on me a little bit, and I got there before the storm went. Man, he threw some steaks on the grill. They made that Cardi B sauce. Man, they made me feel right at home, man.
It's the dogs for me. I love all the animals, man. I gotta step on them over the stairs.
Yeah.
So, Will, man, what are your plans after? I know it's after the military. Anything else you want to do, man? You've done so much, man. What else you want to do? You retired now. You know, making good money. I know you got some skills you might want to learn. We gonna play golf or something, naked golf. I don't know.
Hey, you know what I was thinking about doing? I might do some welding or something, man. I don't know. But my whole goal now is just to be free.
That's right.
I want to be financially free. I want to be free of stress free.
That's right.
I want to be free. You can put free on the end of everything. I just want to be free. I want to be free from everything and just enjoy life right now.
Mm-hmm.
I came a long way. And I met a lot of good people, man. I still got a lot of good friends like y'all in my life. And, man, I just want to be free to enjoy life with y'all.
That's right.
I told you, man, you can put free on the end of everything for me.
That's right.
That's all I want to do, just live life free.
I know that's right, man.
Free to just to be who I am.
That's right.
But I'm gonna keep doing a little bit of contracting right now. Until I feel like I want to do something else.
And it feels good to have that freedom, though, doesn't it?
It does. I ain't got to put pass in. I ain't got to put leave in.
Mm-hmm.
I can go wherever I want when I want.
Yeah, and I mean, you go do something because you want to do it, not because you feel like you have to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I've always experienced when you do something because you want to do it, you tend to excel more, and you tend to like getting up and doing that, every day. So
that's right, because it's your choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't be mad at yourself for the choices you made.
Man.
Right? You can't be mad at yourself.
I love it, man. I love retirement, and I told myself I'm gonna enjoy it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Will, we appreciate you for coming on, man. It's been a great conversation, and man, I can't tell you how glad I am you came on with us, brother.
Me too, man. I'm glad. I know it took us a while to get you on here, man, but I'm glad we can have one of our friends on here, man. One of our best
man,
friends.
I can't wait to do it again.
Yes, sir. I knew you would want to come on here, man, and get tell your story, man. You've done so much.
Yeah, man.
You've done so much, man. That's what we like, man. People that didn't, that have, you just wasn't satisfied with one thing. Like, it was so much. And I always tell you this, like, you was so much around people that competed that you had no choice but to compete,
Facts.
And so when you look back over your life, you feel like, hey, I wasn't the best, but you were among the best.
Man.
You see what I'm saying?
Congrats.
So even in that, keeping up in that speed, I always used to, I'm proud of you guys, man. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm glad you guys have come on Swaggy Vets so we can life out the boot so we can hear you guys' story. Appreciate you.
Man, hey, this Swaggy Vet is a new thing, man. I love it.
You got anything for closing, Will?
Hey, man, I just want to say I really appreciate I appreciate you two. I appreciate all of us, our whole circle. And they know who they are.
Yep.
Man, we've leaned on each other so much throughout our career, even after our careers.
Yep.
Through all our relationships, our financial hardships, man. And man, it's just, I just don't want it to ever end, man. That's why I say we got to keep staying connected like this.
It won't, brother. We all we got, man.
Most definitely.
Thanks for having me, brothers. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.